Let's continue where we left off. I might have to start all over again. Oh yeah. Let's see if I can go down here. What slide was that one? Is that slide 3? Is that the third one? Go.
I think it might be the fourth one.
1, 2, I think it's 3.
Call it. Because it's new. Got a new spell for it. It's like birthday. My mom was like, you need a brush.
Oh, you're right. It is the other one.
It smells like new lights. Only you would know what you like it.
Alright, here we go. Shh, listen up. Alright, so that was exciting. Alright, so we left off at if these were equal and those are equal, right? Then those have to be equal. So that's why we set them equal to each other by, and I was in the middle of doing substitution prop of equality. So now we have the BC in here, right? And we have the EF. And they're on the correct sides of the equal sign, aren't they? Now, bear in mind we do have an equal statement, which we'll deal with that in a minute. What can I do to get from here to here? Almost to there. Can I take A, B, and D, E off? Why? Okay, have I mentioned that in my proof yet, though? No. Remember I split up my given? So then down here, I'm going to put the second given right here. I'm going to put AB is congruent to DE. So I'm basically hitting you upside the head and saying, hey, remember, where'd I get that from? Where'd I get that from? The given. So I've split the given up. You can do that. Stop. Listen. So I'm saying, remember, these are equal. And the reason why I chose to put it in here is because this is where it becomes important. If these are equal, can't I take an AB and take a DE off of both, one from each side? And aren't I taking equal values from each side? So if I take these off of each side, then for my next step, I can actually write segment BC is equal to segment EF. Why? What did I do? I subtracted off of both sides. So there's your subtraction property. Of equality. We only have one more step left. How do I go from here to that final statement? Because I can. Yeah, what says I can change the notation to congruence? Definition of congruent segments. The definition of congruent segments. Now it's slightly shorter than what's on your sheets, right? But look at what's on your sheets. Can I erase this? Okay. Look at what's on your sheets, and I want you to see which one makes more sense. Mine or the one that's on your sheet. And I'll put it up here in just a second. All right, now can I take it off? I find the one that's on your sheet a little more fuzzy, so to speak. So they started with a whole given, right? Then from here, they changed the notation, and we know that that's congruence of segments, right? Then they went and they subtracted. Why? Because AB and DE are equal. So they subtracted from the first equation here this, right? Then they use the segment addition postulate, which we did in ours also, correct? And then I didn't have enough room, so we had to do it again. All right, so then they go and use the subtraction property. And if you'd have to look at what came before it, so short of me writing it up here, they've essentially subtracted AB and then DE from each side here, and since they're equal, can't they do that? Can't they? And that's why they've done it again. And the reason is they're trying to get to BE and EF, or BC and EF. Don't we have BC and EF now? And if these are congruent, what do you know about those? Oops, sorry, I forgot they did this. There's the other subtraction one. Then they went to saying that these are congruent. Or, sorry, these are congruent. Why? Substitution. And we did that as well, right? Put your phone away. All the way away. And then you can stay and talk to me after class. And then finally we go from here to here, change in notation, what says that you can do that? Definition of congruent segments. So a lot of what I did was the same, right? A couple of things, like mostly right in here, 4, 5, and 6 were different. Am I right? Which one makes more sense? The one that we did first. And so even though they're essentially somewhat similar, this is a little bit more confusing than the one that I just gave you. So if I were you, I would make sure I cut and pasted. I'd cross that part out, cut and paste what we did onto that front, and study the progression of that proof. It's a very popular proof. Star it. It's a very popular proof. In other words, you could get something similar again. All right, so that should conclude it.